Hey guys, what's up? This is WhiteDudeDown on behalf of the Friendslist Network and the Friendslist Podcast, bringing you World of Tanks gameplay. But the purpose of this is not to comment on the gameplay exactly, but rather, if you're like me, if you're anything like me, you saw World of Tanks for free in the PlayStation Marketplace and decided to pick it up. I got the beta, but the full version of this game just came out. And this game's been around for a really long time. It's been available mostly on the PC. Most people know it for that. But it's also been out on some other consoles, and it's finally on the PlayStation 4. A lot of people that I've been running into on this game have been playing it on all different kinds of platforms and for many years. And I am brand new to this. So I figured that if you're anything like me, you could benefit from a kind of like a what to expect video. So that's what this is. World of Tanks is a little bit different from a lot of modern shooters. Not just because you're in a tank. Well, I mean, everything about it is because you're just in a tank. But the way that it plays is a lot different, and I don't know. I could see how some people might, pick this up for free, download it, get in and either be overwhelmed by the systems or play one game and be like, why can't I kill this guy? And, or why am I going so slow, and quit right away. So, a couple things about this game is you can see there, that guy that I was just shooting at faded away from my map, and he's not dead or anything like that. There's a spotting system. So there's all kinds of these systems that are very unique to World of Tanks. So if one player on your team sees a tank, they'll be revealed to the rest of the team. So that's why you can see all these little black red dots and exactly where the guys are, and pretty much see them through walls and be aware of their movement. It means that somebody else in the team has spotted them and they're revealed to you for a little while. So if you look in the bottom left right now, there's that little exclamation point that says detected. Right now, everybody and their mother on that team can see right where I am. Okay? And when that happens to you, you really need to hide. You need to be in a position where you can put something between you and the enemy, because a lot of the maps in this game are very, very open. And as soon as one person spots you, the rest of the team will just, everybody fires one shot and you're dead in a second. And that could be really frustrating to a new player that hasn't experienced the game before. So right now you can see this guy is kind of jumping in and out. I led him a little bit, took the shot. Already up to 3 kills right now. So there's all kinds of things then that play into this spotting mechanic. There's like each tank in its stats section will have a view distance. So it's not just that you looked and happened to mouse over or aim where the guy was. It's that you had a clear line of sight to them and they were within the view distance of your tank. Now that's kind of crazy. Like, that's very different from other games. So that's a system worth explaining. The other thing is armor and penetration is a huge one that, it takes a little bit to understand. Right now I'm using a gun that fires HE rounds, which, none of this means anything, but basically, don't pay attention to what this gun is doing. When you see me one-shotting people and like that, that's not what I'm talking about. But the tanks have different armor ratings, and then depending on the main gun that your tank has, and where you hit them relative to the thickness of that armor, you may run into an instance, as I have many times during my early grind in this game, where you just straight cannot damage an enemy tank. Your gun is physically incapable of dealing any damage, no matter how many times you shoot somebody, to the other guy's tank. And that does happen in this game. That is a thing that you will most definitely encounter. And it's kind of weird, because I can't think of anything else that's like that. So just keep that in mind, that can happen, and don't freak out. If you die in this game, one of the cool things is the game is permadeath. So if you die, you're not respawning. But what you can do is you can just instantly leave that game. and start another one right away with a different tank. And when this game, so like right now, if I were to die, if let's say in the first 2 seconds of a match, I got sniped from across everything and died the first 2 seconds, you just exit right out, and you can immediately enter into a different game with, you know, as long as I have a different tank in my garage. And then when this game ends, so I died in 2 seconds, and then all of this is going on, this game ends just like it is right now.
We did it! We won!
Now I can use this tank again. So basically just level 2 different tanks and you're good. Now we got another game starting. So that last game was with my Sherman M4. It's a tier 5 medium American tank, and it is so far my favorite tank in the game. So here, this is what happens, is you'll get that one, and then you'll go through the upgrade tree for it, and then when you get enough points, experience points, and in-game currency, you can upgrade it. So this is the tier 6 variant, the Sherman M4 E2. Shit, is there voices on this?
We've got enemies in the area. Take them down or
so this is the M4 E2, and this is just like a bigger version of that tank with a lot of front hull armor, and it's slower. So if you've heard of tiers of tanks and don't really know what that means, basically there's 10 tiers, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, and depending on what tier your tank is, it'll usually play up to 2 tiers higher and probably about 2 tiers lower. So what does this mean? This means that you'll have some games where you're the top dog. I think right now this is a tier 6 match, which means that my tank is one of the best in the game in this particular match. But then another time, this thing will play up to, I believe, tier 8s, and those things will just, it'll be, oh no, this is one. Yeah, this is a tier 8 match. So right now I'm basically playing up to stronger tanks. So this is where you'll run into things where you can't pierce them. They're faster than you. Their guns are better. And that does happen. That is something about this game. But I've been doing a lot of the cons. One more before I switch, but one more that I thought of is if you're wondering, can you get a tank in a tier tree that's really, really slow? It takes you forever to drive around. Yeah, that's happened to me. Leveling my German tank, my German heavy tank, I got one that was unbelievably slow. It was really, really frustrating to play, and you know, especially early on, because you're playing old, you know, like the first versions of tanks. They're really slow, and it's really cumbersome and weird, and your turret doesn't turn fast, and it's kind of frustrating. That game that I just had, the first gameplay from this, that tank and this one, although this one has significantly better armor, it uses the exact same main gun, but now I'm playing up to tier 8 tanks. So even though the M4 Sherman that I was playing in the last game is a tier lower, I like that one better because it does, in my opinion, it performs better against the tanks that it has to play against. So you run into things like that. Some of the pros now of things that World of Tanks has, because of the permadeath style and because, you know, there's not much to the mechanics of this game. Like, if you've noticed, I've compared this, I've said of this game that pretty much all that you're doing is watching a circle get smaller. That's a lot of what this is you're just stopping and aiming. There's a lot of camping and things like that, but it does make for very strategic gameplay. And as a result of that, I cannot believe the number of people that play this game with a headset in. If you've been listening to the Friendslist Podcast at all, a couple of different times on there we've spoken about how communication is dead in modern first-person shooters. And I don't know why. Nobody plays, you've heard it probably hundreds of times, nobody plays with a mic in. In this one, almost everybody. will have a headset in, or if you start talking, you'll hear that sound of the mic getting plugged in,
Focus on
and
this
that's
location.
really cool. That's great for gaming,
Releasing target.
especially in a competitive shooter like this. I love it. I am completely addicted to this game. All the negatives that I've just listed about it, this game is amazing. I haven't spent a dime on it yet. I have a tier 7, the one up from this, I have a tier 7 American medium, American heavy, the T29, and it took me about 6 days of playing to get, and that might seem like a lot, but it only gets worse from there. There's more to go up. But I am completely in. I am so sold on this game, and I feel like if you give it a chance, if you get through some of the other things that I just told you about, and understand that some of the people out there might have been playing it for a very, very long time, and you know, if you're not doing so hot at the very beginning, then just take some time. And I think that you'll enjoy it. It's very, very satisfying, and I've met a lot of really cool people through it. So yeah, like I said, I'm WhiteDudeDown. Thank you guys for watching. I'll leave you to it for the rest of the video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if anybody has what their first experience in World of Tanks was. Go ahead and post those in the comments below. Be sure to check out, I'll be streaming World of Tanks all week. So on Twitch, search for WhiteDudeDown, and listen to the Friendslist Podcast. We have the last 3 episodes. We talked about Star Wars, Game of the Year, and some other cool shit. So go ahead and check that out. You can get that for free on iTunes. Alright, so enjoy the gameplay. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching.
They're hit. We got him. Focus on this area. Punched a hole in their armor. They've spotted us. Reloaded. That one did some damage. Nice shot. That's another kill for our team. Best job I ever had.